Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I had to get on here and tell you I need your help. I have an EPO against an ex-boyfriend that I need y'all to help me watch because he's posted wanting some more stuff from my house when he spent 2 hours here one day and the police were ready to leave also. So if you will help me police my page and watch, his name is Richard Anselment. If you see him post, report. He's not supposed to have any contact with me whatsoever, and I think he's using a fake page or whatever. I also wanted to get on here to discuss some topics that I've been watching on a daily basis. Now, if you've read my book, you know that in 2001, I was a single mom. I had worked at very small jobs, paying minimum wage. And I had a lot of police officers that would come in and they were very nice to me and they knew I needed more money to help raise my children. I've been seeing these topics about police officers and I do not in any way agree with the brutality that I've seen certain police officers on the news have. But I feel like I need to get on here because I need to tell you with any job, you have bullies. You have bullies that will try to make you lose your job. You have bullies that are out to totally just be mean. Well, you have that in any job. The reason I'm saying this is I was listening to Alexa this morning, and I was listening to them. I don't know his name in particular, but he was talking about defunding the police. Now, people, I think we need to think about this because if you've got an armed robbery, or you have a rape, or you have, like most of us have experienced, molestation, who are you going to call? Now, in my experience in training, there were certain ways we were trained. And you have to take, as you do in any military experience or anything like that, you have to take orders. Who knows what these men were told to do? Now, I believe that one man, the brutality that I saw was just despicable. I believe that he should be on death row. We are all people in red on the inside. There is no reason for discrimination against women, against color. There's no reason. We should be beyond that nowadays. But I want you to think for a moment, if we had a world with no authorities that had guns on their sides, it would be a very scary world. I will tell you this, because in my experience, I heard someone say, we just need to give education. You have people out there that are career criminals that do not care about education because they're making more money with their career criminal ways. It's a scary world when we don't have any type of authority whatsoever. So, in my experience, there's good and bad wherever we go. I mean, most of us in our own homes were molested by people we loved. You have to have your intuition no matter where you go. You really do. We're bullied on Facebook pages, we're bullied on social media, we're bullied in a parking lot at Walmart. We have to remain diligent in the human race. We're not supposed to be against each other. We should unite, help watch each other, help protect each other, not fight against each other. I felt I needed to get on here because I am sort of a public figure with my book. And I need your help to help watch my page. As you might have seen in my post, I made my ex-boyfriend, now ex, a moderator of my page, and he's tried to contact me through a post. I need your help watching. If you see something that doesn't even pertain to my post, let me know, please. I also want to address the coronavirus. In our day and time, we've never seen a time more scary than this. I haven't, and I've been around since 1968. At first, I thought this was a bunch of bull. I really did. Until I know someone who died from it. Now, I wear a mask. I think a lot of us have gotten so angry with being told what to do that we fight against things we shouldn't fight against. We see so many conflicting stories on the news. We don't know who to believe. I don't know who to believe. I don't know which news outlet is truly giving me the true story. So we have to be diligent and use our intuition and our smarts. A virus is not like bacteria. You cannot get rid of it. There is no vaccine right now. So wouldn't it be smart to just be careful, like you are when you're watching your child? To be examples to our children, our grandchildren, is the most important thing to me. I think so many people in the world, and I have been guilty of this also, are so angry. I myself am having to move from my home because I can't afford the mortgage. So I'm downsizing tremendously. I'm just going to be straight up honest. I'm on disability and I only make $826 a month. I'm losing a lot. And I may even lose more, as many are. So when you look at me and you look at my page, I'm not making anything off this book. I didn't want it that way. I wanted everyone to have access to it because I knew how poor I was. And yes, I am in the poor bracket. Let's put it this way. The apartment I'm going to is income-based. I'm the lowest in the whole apartment complex. I don't say that for pity. I'm telling you that so that you know when you look at this white girl, I know what it's like to be poor because I'm currently poor. It's no excuse for us to lash out in violence. If I were to go and target who I was angry at the most, I would love to go to the White House and protest peacefully. But there are those of us that can't afford to get there. So we use these social media outlets to give our voice. And I'm silent no more. I will give my opinion because this is the only outlet I have for that. We have conspiracy theories. We have so much being thrown at us that we don't know what's right and what's wrong. Please don't target the police. I have many friends that are police officers that don't get paid near what the police officers get paid in these big cities. So when they say defund the police, that's a scary thought to me because I've had to call the police in my own area several times because of my abusers. The people that talk about this are sorely misinformed on what the police are supposed to do because they're seeing so many things that are taped and recorded. But you're not given the full story. You really aren't. I was one. To me, it was a job. To me, it was only a job, and I wanted to go home to my children. A lot of times the police are also scared, although they may not admit it. I'm here to say I was afraid. There were many times I got shots fired calls, and I didn't know if the man was going to be there to shoot me. One time I actually searched a gentleman and found the gun behind a trash can. We don't know. I know. But some people don't know what police are actually going through on the streets. It's a dangerous world. If we defund the police, who are we going to have to protect us? A lot of us, I don't have a gun. I don't necessarily want one. But I am going to tell you this. There are nights I'm afraid in my home because I don't have one. We have got to be diligent in watching each other instead of fighting each other. Hating someone for the color of their skin. It's despicable. I thought we should be beyond that in this day and time. But obviously we are not. I'm sorely disappointed in the human race all over the world right now. I'm sorely disappointed in the way I've been treated. I'm having to tell you now, which is embarrassing to me, that I have an ex-boyfriend that's trying to post on my pages to try to get more property after he was here for 2 hours. He didn't even own this house. His name's not even on the house. I need you to help me. I need you to help me watch my page. Facebook I don't know what the problem is, but I tried to change it today and it just kept saying error. I believe we can do this ourselves. Help me watch. Be the person that's not the bully. Although you're angry, do it show your anger in constructive ways. I myself have called Congress in the past about my abuser, my sexual abuser, to no avail, but I keep trying. I've called the FBI. I've called everyone I think could do something about it, to no avail, but I keep trying. We keep striving because we are human, because we're disgusted at the things that are going on in our world. If you don't like what you're seeing, do some research. See if you can find a way to show your voice. I'm lucky enough to have a book where I can use this page as a soapbox, so to speak. It's very disappointing to see a lot of the things we're seeing now. But don't let it discourage you. Don't let it make you go against the only authority figures we have. That's when we truly lose the authority figures to be on our side. Wouldn't it be scary if you needed to call 911 and there was no one to answer? Say your child was choking? Say you were being robbed? Or someone was breaking into your home to rape you? But there was no one to call. A lot of people are angry at the police, but I think we should be angry at the news media for showing us only the bad stuff. I think we should be angry at every person that wants to get out their phone and record everything they see. As I say, on this topic again, I was a police officer and it was just a job to me, not an authority thing. I was wanting to go home. When the job was done, I was ready to go home. You have no idea the amount of drugs that are on the street from every race. You have no idea what people are willing to do to get their fix. Steal. I've seen old people hit in the head just simply because someone wanted their drug money. As a police officer, I've seen this. I was on many calls where someone had been hurt over drugs. So when you hear defund the police, that's the worst thing our country could do. The police are getting to where they're so frustrated, maybe they just want to go in and clock out. That's how I would be as a police officer. I mean, what would be the point? Back your police if you want to be able to call 911 and have some help. Now, I'm not going to say every one of them are good because, like I said, in every job, in every walk of life, there are mean people. We know this. If you've been abused, you know this. But all I'm saying is don't judge a book by its cover, and that means what you see on the media, sometimes you're not getting the full story. Now, I watched the gentleman put his knee on that man, and that was despicable. And I hope he gets everything he deserves. And to me, he would deserve the death penalty. That's just my opinion. But not every police officer is like that. I wasn't. There were times where someone would just be drunk on the sidewalk, and I would give them a ride home and not arrest them. So not every police officer is like that. We don't need to judge a whole entity by one bad apple. Now, we've seen many instances where there's been some bad police, but I think it's because the attention is drawn to it now and people are watching. And that's a good thing. But we need to make sure we don't totally judge every one of them by one incident or even two. I'm no longer a police officer. I haven't been since 2004. But I have buddies that are. And I would hate to see them so frustrated that they don't want to help anymore. I had a lot of good people that were watching me and still are my friends. Please, when you watch the news now, I mean, for instance, we have a lot of conspiracy theories out there, such as Pizzagate. Now that I thought that was over, but it's back in it's back in circulation. We don't know if this is true or not. We don't know if there's any basis for it. We're not told anything. And I think that's something that's bad as far as our politicians go. We should be able to know everything that's going on. We pay taxes. We're overtaxed. But yet we're not let in on everything. I can't even say I want to vote. I think if I did, I would probably write someone in. Most people now don't know who's telling the truth and who isn't. We don't know. And there is no way for us to fact check because the facts that are on the internet can be doctored too. That's where intuition comes in. Intuition to know who's bad and who's good. Do as much of your own research as you can. And that means if you can step into it, if you can go to Washington and protest peacefully, I say do it. If I could protest peacefully, I would. Peacefully means don't hurt people's property. Don't hurt people. When you incorporate violence into your protest, you make your point null and void. I stop listening when I see violence. And I'm sure most good law-abiding citizens are like that. I've stayed quiet quite often on these topics, and I'm not one that usually does. When I listened this morning to a gentleman talk about defunding police and not having that entity available for people to call 911, that's a scary thought. I was thinking how many times I've had to call just because someone in my family was sick. Or how many times I've had to call because I had an EPO and was being bullied. Who are you going to make a report to if they defund police? There won't be anybody. There'll be no one there. And when you get the police and you defund the police, think about this. Intertwined is the fire department, the EMTs. They all back each other. Get them all frustrated and you bleed to death, you're just going to bleed out. Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Now I'll close with this because I've been on here a while. Help me police my page. Help me watch my page. I got up this morning and the first thing I saw was my ex getting on my page, because in the past I'd made him moderator, wanting something else from my house, only in my name. We have greedy, self-entitled, spoiled individuals nowadays that care nothing about anybody but themselves. Don't be one of those people. I know I'm watching myself because there's been times in the past I've been very selfish. Go to bat for your fellow man. The human race in general, it doesn't matter what color they are. We all have the same organs. We're all red on the inside. Love each other. And if you don't know what love is, just be common, decent people. This is a scary day and age we live in. We don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore because we're hearing so many conflicting stories. If your neighbor needs some food, help. Now, I'm not going to suggest if someone's on the side of the road, stop, because that's a dangerous thing too nowadays. But you know people that, heck, just need a bite to eat, that are your neighbors that you know. Try not to stay too quiet. Try not to be too angry. Anger is the destruction of the human race. I've seen statues toppled. You know, I don't agree with some of our history, but it is America's history. Defacing and destroying property is not the answer. Now, maybe starting a petition to get rid of it would be good. I don't think it's necessarily good to just topple it. That's still violence. Violence was what caused slavery to begin with. That's violent. Despicable. So let's not be like our ancestors. Let's not think violence is the answer either. This is coming from someone that was sexually abused as a child, that's been through emotional abuse, that has been bullied. And I am still telling you, hate and violence is not the answer. We want them to listen to us, not ignore us. We want a voice. If you have to, do a live video of your own. If you have to, start a petition. There's many electronic ways to start a petition nowadays, and it's very simple. I've done it. I haven't got very many signatures, but I've done it. There's a way to make your voice known, in other words, without seeking justice in the violent way. We're living at hard times. We've got to be there for each other. Thank you for listening, and I hope you share this because I think it's a message that needs to be known. Have a good day.